So the digestive system is one of the biggest models we have, as you can see, but we usually like to learn it just based on the direction of food. We start from the oral cavity, which is the mouth itself. In the oral cavity, you'll just find the tongue, the teeth, the lips. At the very top of the oral cavity, you'll see a hard bone, which is literally called the hard palate. Behind the hard palate, you'll see a tissue area without bone, this is called the soft palate. At the end of the soft palate is a thing hanging in the back of your mouth called the uvula. Some extra stuff you might need to know is here is the sublingual tonsil, and here you'll see this kind of weird pink circle is the palatine tonsil. Here's the nasal cavity, and the back of the throat. This entire area is called the pharynx. Because it's kind of big, we divide it into 3 sections. This first top section is called the nasopharynx. This is because it's connected to the nasal cavity. This middle section here is called the oropharynx because it's connected to the oral cavity. And this bottom section is called the laryngopharynx because it's connected to the larynx, your voice box. Here you see the epiglottis. This thing closes whenever you eat food or drink water, so nothing goes into your lungs. And finally here we have the esophagus, which food travels down to reach your stomach. Here you'll see this kind of skinnier part of the esophagus. This is where a muscle is called the gastroesophageal sphincter. It has 2 names, so it can also be called the cardiac sphincter. It's called cardiac sphincter because this region of the stomach connecting the esophagus and the stomach is called the cardiac region. So that's why you call this the cardiac sphincter. Now we have the stomach. The stomach is divided into 3 sections. First is this dome-shaped section right above the cardiac region called the fundus, just anything above the stick. This middle section is very big, kind of where the stick is covering. It's called the body. The last section is down here, from here to here, the pylorus. At the end of the pylorus, we have another sphincter right here called the pyloric sphincter. This prevents food from leaving the stomach too early. The stomach itself has rugae, all of these folds, and the stomach itself has 2 curves. This bigger curve on the outside is called the greater curvature. This smaller curve on the inside is called the lesser curvature. After food is digested in the stomach, it goes into the small intestines. So I'll take this off really quickly. You'll see that this is the small intestines. It wraps all the way around, ending here. The small intestines itself is also divided into 3 sections. The first section is called the duodenum, where a lot of digestive enzymes get secreted. The second section is all of this top half, called the jejunum. And the last section is this bottom half, ending here, called the ileum. Then we come to the large intestine. So we'll put this back on. The large intestine, a first structure that we should learn is called the cecum. This kind of sac hanging under the ileum is the cecum. Connecting the ileum to the cecum is a special valve called the ileocecal valve. If any of you have ileocecal sphincter, it's just a muscle around the valve. At the end of the cecum is the appendix. The full name is vermiform appendix. And then the large intestine itself is divided into 4 sections. The first section is called the ascending colon because it's just the part that goes up, so like this, it goes up. The second part is called the transverse colon. You can see it goes from the right to the left, transverse colon. The third section is here, it's called the descending colon. You can see it goes down. And the last section is called the sigmoid colon. It's a bit hard to see, but it kind of looks like an S shape. You can see it curves around. That's why it's called the sigmoid colon. Here we have the rectum, where feces is held before it gets excreted. The opening where it gets excreted out of is called the anus or anal canal. And then we have 2 muscles here controlling the excretion of feces. This internal one right here is called the internal anal sphincter. And this external one is just literally called the external anal sphincter. We're going to backtrack a little bit because we have what are called accessory digestive organs, just not part of the alimentary canal, which is the shared tube which food travels down. The first of which we start with the liver. This creates bile to digest proteins. The liver itself is divided into lobes. Here's the left lobe, the right lobe. On the bottom, you'll see 2 extra lobes on the bottom of the liver. First is this square one next to the gallbladder. This is called the quadrate lobe. Quad for like 4 sides. And the last one is called the caudate lobe. You'll see it's all this lobe. Here's the gallbladder itself. Remember, the gallbladder does not create bile, it only stores and releases bile. The gallbladder is connected with what's called the cystic duct to collect bile. Bile is created from the livers and gets secreted out through what's called the common hepatic duct. When the common hepatic duct and the cystic duct combine, they form what's called the common bile duct. The common bile duct will go under here. You can see it goes underneath this structure, and it comes out here. So this is also the common bile duct. The common bile duct will connect with what's called the pancreatic duct. So you see this big pink wrinkly organ. It's called the pancreas. The pancreatic duct combines with the common bile duct to form what's called the hepatopancreatic ampulla. This is where the digestive enzymes get secreted into the duodenum. You'll see in the small intestine itself, all of these folds are called the plicae circularis. And here we just have a spleen.